Good morning and welcome back to another Westies Angling. You're joining me and my dad today for another Dad versus Lad challenge. He's in the next peg along, getting himself set up for today's session. So if you're following the channel, you'll know that in one of the last tutorial videos, I tied up these mono D-rigs. So I'm going to be fishing carp methods and my dad's going to be fishing the double method feeders. We're both going to have two rods out and we're just going to see, one, who gets the biggest fish, and two, who gets the most fish. What I'm actually going to do on the first cast is just fish these mono D-rigs on single hook baits. The hook baits that I'm going to be using are my Portent Pineapple 12 by 14 mil and the Purple Pear Drop 12 by 14 mil wafters. I'm going to be fishing these in conjunction with PVA mesh bags, and in the mesh bags I'm going to put my X3 mini mix, and I'm going to be dipping the bags in my dip and glug. So I've got pineapple to match the pineapple wafters, and I've also got some of my liquid fog in pear drop to match the pear drop wafters. So it's going to be a bit of a double challenge really. One, which wafter's the best, and two, which method's the best. It's surprising on carp dominated waters like this lake here at Harry's in Adlington, sometimes a bigger wafter at this time of year, a hook bait that's a little bit more visible, can sometimes do better. So I think it's anybody's contest today. I've rigged the mono D-rig up in the same way as I showed in the tutorial with one of my safe bolt and run kits. So I've just got a 3-ounce lead there, 15-pound main line, and obviously the mono D-rig. But what happens is when a fish takes this, it bolts off and this little rubber bead here pops off and that becomes a free running rig. But that little bead is just enough to set the hook. Obviously, because I'm fishing two rods, I'm fishing on biter lines, and so is my dad. We're both going to be fishing out towards the middle because on this particular lake, that's where the carp seem to be in winter. But with a bit of luck, me and my dad both get a couple of winter carp each, but we'll see, won't we? Obviously, if you're following the channel, you'll know by now how to set up a method feeder rig, so I'm not going to go through that in great detail, but I will run you through my dad's setup very, very quickly today because he's got a couple of new rods that I want to show you. So without further ado, let's see which is going to be the winner, the carp methods or the method feeders. Let's get some fresh hook baits on these, get them cast out, and let the challenge commence. So as I've said, I've been here since first light. I've got myself pretty much set up, but first thing I'm going to do is put a couple of fresh wafters on and we'll get these bombed out. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid fog on this. This needs a really good shake up before you use it, and then we'll get that cast out. I don't want to get this on my fingers because it will dye my fingers. Look at that, folks. That's some beautiful glaze, that. So I want you to comment, who do you think is going to win this challenge? Me with the carp methods or Dad with the method feeders? And this rig is unbelievably anti-tangle. So I'm going to start there and then I'm going to work my way out, because what we need to do is find out where the fish are, and usually they're about halfway. Right, that's one rod out. Let's get the dip and glug ready. Now, I've designed these dip and glug pots to be really stable. They're not round, they're square. So you can literally just dip your hook bait in them or your PVA bag and get it whipped out. And they've got a really wide neck here. This is 65 mil, so should fit most mesh bags. I do that a lot with catfish, so I thought that needs to be a product on the market. So there you go, I've made them. Always thinking, folks, always thinking. Right. Pineapple wafter. I've checked both the hook points and I've got a couple of rigs tied up in backup. So that's that. Let's get it in the dip and glug and get it out. I'm going to dip everything here, folks. I'm going to dip the hook bait, I'm going to dip the lead. Messy, but It's going to give us a bit of a boost. Let's see how far out I can whack this. That'll do us. And one of the good things about these stiff mono rigs for beginners, you don't even need to feather your cast or anything, because it's so stiff that it always kicks the hook bait away. So they're absolutely ideal for beginners. It is absolutely freezing today, but at least there's no rain. I would have liked to see a little bit more of a ripple on today, but it is what it is. There's a little bit of a ripple on. I have seen a couple of spots of bubbles coming up a little bit closer in actually as well, so I might try that a bit later on. Right, let's get a couple of PVA sticks made up and then we'll have a look at my dad's setup for today. Right, let's open the X3. So let's pour half of this bag in here. We're not going to use loads today, folks. Obviously it is winter and it's extremely cold today. I think it's about 2 or 3 degrees Celsius, so it's not going to be easy this by any stretch of the imagination. Let's get a couple of sticks tied up for the next cast so that we're good to go. A couple of bleeps on the alarm there. It could mean that fish are moving around closer in. So I'm just going to put a few pellets in there, put the packer in. Really compress those mini pellets as much as you can. And this is the kind of size of stick that you want to be using at this time of year. Nothing too big. And you want to try and get that knot as close to the top of the bag as you can, but I've got a pellet, got a mini pellet stuck in there, so I don't know how tight this is going to go. There we go, perfect folks. And if you want, tie a little bit of a knot for the next bag as well, just to start it off. Again, close to that other one, cut in between them, and that's what you're looking for. And that'll go out like a bullet. It'll be nice and easy to cast. And I'm probably going to be casting out every half an hour. I'm going to be pretty active today, searching the fish out. Another little tweak, good signs, fish moving about. Right, let's go and have a look at my dad's setup. So Pops, which method do you think is going to be the winner today?
Well, obviously method feeder, because I'm fishing it. You know,
I think the carp methods have got a good chance, though, Dad.
Yeah, the carp methods do have a good chance. You've always done quite well, actually.
On the bigger wafters.
On bigger wafters and that. You've had some nice fish, especially in summer with fish at margins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So an interesting one will be who gets the biggest fish. You fishing slightly lighter with smaller wafters on the method feeder, or me with the bigger wafter, will it attract the bigger fish in? Who knows? It doesn't seem to ever work like that though, does it, Dad?
No, it doesn't.
Dad's got some new rods. Show us your new rods, Dad. What are they?
Yeah, they're the Sonic Avon rods. So they're a 10-foot, 1 3/4 pound test rod. I've been looking for a shorter rod comparing with 12-foot greys. I don't think you need the 2 pound plus test curve rods on a commercial.
No, there's negatives to it, isn't there? So they're not as nice of a play in action.
No, they're a bit pokerish, aren't they? You know, a bit too stiff of a rod. And I do prefer that lighter,
yeah,
sort of test curve. I mean, these are heavier than my greys. My greys are a pound and a quarter.
but they're too long, aren't they? They're 12 foot.
The 12 foot's too long on a lot of commercials.
So we've been looking for a rod of around 10 foot that is nice and easy to store, like these Sonic extractors that my dad's gone for. And like he said, look at this, they're a lovely slim blank. They'll have a lighter playing action, which is nicer for the smaller fish, and what you'll also get is less hook pulls as well, Dad.
Yeah.
because they're not as stiff and it's not going to pull it out. So you're going to, hopefully we're going to have a nice playing action on these, but we'll see if he gets into a fish what the playing action is like. They're a 1 3/4 test curve Sonic Extractor, and they also do these in a lighter test curve, don't they?
Well, that was the rod that I actually saw first, because they've only just brought these out, I believe. It's got an Avon 1.5 pound test curve, but it also comes with a quiver tip carrier top section as well.
I might look at the 1.5, potentially do a review on it, but I'm actually quite put off doing reviews at the minute because they're not willing to send you anything. These tackle companies are, the Dad, and they want the pound of flesh.
Yeah,
if they do, they want you to sign contracts and everything, and I don't particularly like endorsing something anymore where they're not even willing to send you a rod to try out. It's a bit tight, really, isn't it? When they'll sell hundreds off the back of it.
Well, exactly.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that comes with, obviously, the channel growing and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, that was a liner, Dad. Well, you know me, folks, the channel is here to help people, and if talking you through what tackle we're using, and stuff like that helps you, then I'm going to carry on doing it. Even if I don't get anything off these tackle companies in return, I will still tell you what I'm using, why I'm using it, what I think's the best at the time, and you know that you're going to get a completely unbiased opinion, eh, Dad?
Yeah, I'm quite
Getting more action than you here, Dad.
Yeah, no,
Is that a drop back? What is that? Why
I knew you'd
am I
got
getting
it best
liners?
peg.
What do you mean best peg? You're next to me, fishing to the same spot, and I'm pretty sure you left them rods halfway in my peg.
Oh, I'm sure you're right, I'm rods in my peg.
There we are. Oh, that might have been... No.
That's okay. Brilliant.
Oh, it's come out. Damn it. Hook point's turned on that one, folks. We'll have to change that rig. But that was the first bite on the pineapple. We're getting liners on the other one, yeah. So but I'm going to get this hook length changed. I might be able to save that hook length just by touching up that point, but I'm going to change it for now. So let's get another rig on here. Like I said, I've tied a few up because I was expecting to maybe lose tackle today, but I might be able to save that other rig. But it's worth, just for the sake of the challenge, it's worth getting a new rig on, fresh rig. That one was pineapple, so let's get another pineapple on. Dip and glug, and I'm going to put some pellets on this time, but I think I need to be straight on the rod next time. So the way that you hook these bags on is through the end there, twist, and then back through again like that, and that'll be fine for the cast. And then we'll get our dip and glug, quick dipperoonie in that and get it out. But you can see that bit of a shake, and that's plenty on there. Yeah, a lot of it will come off. Spot on there, sink it. Yeah, there are a couple of boulders, but I am fishing heavy, and obviously I'm fishing safe rigs as well, so I should be able to get my rigs back 9 times out of 10. Another little bleep on the left hand rod then. So it does help when you're fishing with PVA to take a little towel with you and just dry your hook bait and the hook, just so it doesn't melt on the cast. Always check the point of your hooks, especially if you're fishing with super sharp hooks like this. Obviously these are a Nash Twister Chod, so I'm going to go through that a couple of times. Then I'm going to get our liquid fog, give it a good shake, and I'm just going to put that on. Yeah, it's a lovely thick purple booster, this. Hook bait as well. Cover that hook bait and this will stick really well. Look at that, folks. Look at the colour of that. Sound like I'm selling it to you. I'm not. Getting high on my own supply. Right, let's get this out. Might even need to come a little bit closer than that, but let's have a go there. Obviously it'll take a little while for them PVA bags to break down, so I'm not expecting a quick bite, but oh. I wonder if they're shaking the hooks because they're so big. Well folks, we've had a good little bit of action there for winter. I might recast this left hand rod because I had a bit of a run on it and it's probably moved the PVA bag, but you can see I'm literally just putting a couple of handfuls in of pellets. Not even that. It's probably less than you would put out on a method feeder cast, really. Oh, that's way too many. It's quite a lot going out on that cast, folks. But it'll be fine. And I'll probably go through all of this mesh on this tube in this session, maybe. Depends how full on it is. But with the way things have gone, first thing, I'm expecting a good day. Always packing it down, always squeezing it. Well, I've just finished re-rigging up on the pineapple hook bait because as I was reeling it in to recast, I hit another snag and it bent the tip out on the hook again. That's the only problem with these Nash hooks. They are very sharp, but they are prone to bending out the tip if you get them snagged on something. A little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Try and get it out a bit further this time, I think. But you just can't reuse them, folks. That's why you should always check the tips, just to make sure that they're still sharp and they're not bent over. That's a better cast. That's a bite, that, folks, definitely. I can feel it. I'm just going to have to try and get the rod up and reel in hard next time so I don't get snagged. I'm going to set the bait runner pretty tight as well. Left one I've just cast out further. I'm getting indications already on it, so promising. I think they're just sitting on the back of the wind on the opposite side. Potentially. Just got to find them. They'll be somewhere in this bowl in the middle, but it's whether they're on this side of the bowl or on the back of the wind on the other side of the bowl where it's a bit more sheltered. God knows. Overthinking it. Well, they're a bit stiff. Ah, there's more bend in the Corum opportunist rods. Stiff as out then, they're like pokers. Well, Dad's in. This might be the first fish of the method feeders. Got to keep an eye on my rods, folks, because the bait runners are quite tight. Well, my dad's not got himself prepared here. I've just had to get his unhooking mat out of the car. Here we go. Don't think he expected to catch. He's got a nice fish here. Unusual looking thing. Look at the belly on this. I'm pretty sure that's an F1. Oh my God, Dad, that is. I'm pretty sure that's an F1. It is. Look at that. It's like a football. On the potent pineapple 7x8mm Westies Wafters, that, folks. Dad, that is an awesome fish. Photo worthy. Look at the belly on it. Oh my God. Look at, look at that football. Go long. Drop back, folks. Not sure what happened there. If they're small fish, I'm not gonna be able to hook them. I'm just gonna put a little bit of carp care on the mouth of this fish because it's just bleeding a little bit. It's that side. Cool. Awesome, Dad. So that's the first one to the method feeder. And what a lovely fish. Unusual. So you're winning biggest and most fish at the minute. I missed my bite because I was over here taking a picture of your fish. I sound bitter, but because I'm filming what my dad's doing, I often miss bites and stuff. So, I'm at a bleeding disadvantage. Let some of that drip off. Look at how thick that stuff is, folks. Nobody else fishing here today, and I don't blame them because it is freezing. That fish was a block of ice. Lucky to catch anything in this weather, but we're catching, and that's the main thing. Dad's using the contrast pellets on the method feeder today. But the pineapple does it again, and I must admit I'm getting more indications on the pineapple. I'm going to recast this one as well while I'm at it, I reckon. Balls. Well folks, I've just had to put another rig on because I got snagged on the way in again, annoyingly. Dad's just had another good run. I'll go and see what he's got in a second. Just need to get this rig back out. Ah, have you lost it? It's come off. So he's obviously on the fish now, so I need to get my skates on. Yeah, it sounded it. Just said it was a good run. Right, so PVA bag on. Oh no, the bag's ripped. It's a disaster. I'll have to get that out quick. That's what I get for cheaping out PVA mesh. Let's get that covered up because it's spitting. There we go, coat that, hook bait and everything. The last remaining rig. My dad's getting all his fish towards the middle, which is where I am as well. So it's just a matter of time, hopefully. But that was an F1 that my dad had, and obviously they feed a bit more readily through the winter. But my God, it is cold. Just having a brew to warm myself up. Hey Dad, it's crazy how they're all coming on the same rod, isn't it? I don't think I like the playing action on them rods, Dad. They're a progressive action rod. It's stiffer and then it gets lighter towards the tip, but I think they're fairly stiff. I think there's more of a bend in those Corum Opportunists. Two pound test, yeah?
What's feel playing fish grip?
Yeah. They look a nice rod. I'm not saying they don't look a nice rod, but they're fairly stiff in the way that they're handling. I think it's a better fish. The method feeder is flying ahead with 2 fish, folks. But both coming from the same spot, and I think it's a mirror. But there you go, another nice fish for the method, Dad. Going back that mirror, folks. Just had a proper run then, folks. It's come off again. It's these hooks, they're probably just a bit big. Damn. Oh, and the purple pearl drop, but at least it's a run. What I think's happening, folks, is because obviously I'm using bigger hooks, size 6, I'm not getting the same hook penetration as I would with maybe using a size 8 in this method. But if you're using a size 8 hook, this stiff mono that I'm using would kick the hook over too far and it wouldn't be as effective. So swings and roundabouts, really. I just need one of the hooks to hit home a little bit better and I'll be in. But we're getting runs and that's the main thing. Frustrating because obviously Dad's got a 2-fish lead on me now, but at least we're on the spot and I'm getting bites. just not getting them in. But I think if there were bigger fish, then I'd have a better chance of nailing them properly. But because of smaller fish, they're throwing it a bit easier. They're a little bit more agile, a little bit more nimble, these smaller fish, and they can shake the hooks a little bit better. I just need to keep at it and hopefully get something a bit bigger. This is that right hand rod again, folks. All of them on this rod. It's crazy, isn't it? Just shows you you've got to be on the fish. Hardly even a bleep on your left hand rod. And you're not even fishing really that far apart, are you?
No.
But once you get them competing in a particular spot, it's pretty consistent. I think it will be pretty consistent through the day for him now. I've got to hold out for biggest fish now, don't we, I think. It's a skinny little common. I didn't even hear your alarm go. Just hooked in the bottom of the mouth. You see, what happens is when you've got a slightly heavier lead on, when you're using a bigger hook, you get a bit more hook penetration because there's more resistance for the fish to hook itself against. So putting a bigger lead on can really help set that hook. Fishing's all about solving these problems, folks. Dad just had another run and it's thrown the hook. But it must be them small stockies, Dad. That's the only thing that I can think that it is. I'm in, folks. It's only a small fish, I think, but hey, let's get it in. We need a fish on. This is on a purple purr drop, 12 by 14. It's on the other line. I just had to bully it away from the middle where all the snags are. Yeah, it's a little stocky mirror. Absolutely snaffled the purr drop wafter though. But it shows you can catch small fish on these methods, folks. I think Dad's still got biggest, but that's a pretty fish. And it saved the blank. Don't forget, it's winter. It's thrown the hook in the net as well. But there we go. Hook's still sharp, so we can go again with that. But yeah, nice winter mirror. First carp of 2025, folks. Let's get it back out. Oh, it's chucking it down. It's freezing as well. It's like really cold rain. That's a nice, fully scaled, I think, Dad. Nice fully scaled mirror. Oh no, it's not. Is it fully scaled or is it a common? Some big scales on it. Oh, chucking it down. Yeah, it's a common. It's getting a nice hump back to it, that one. It'll be a big fish, that, in a couple of years. Nice. No, is it a fully scaled mirror? No. Don't know. So, that's your third fish, yeah? Four. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah, four. I'm not sure if I trust him, folks. He's going to see now. I need to get 3 fish, folks, in very quick succession. He's starting to get cocky now. He's just asked if he should pack up for a couple of hours, let me catch up. Cheeky. Right, there's nothing wrong with that wafter. I've got some PVA bags ready here. Put a little one on. I left the PVA out in a range stupidly while I was filming my dad's fish. Absolute rookie error, folks. Rookie error. And these bags aren't going to stay on for the cast. I doubt they are anyway. Oh, they have. They've stayed on. Can't believe it. Whether they get down to the bottom or not is another story. They were half hanging off. I've not actually got much mesh left, and then I'll be fishing single hook baits. I knew it'd be tough today for me, this challenge, but I didn't think it'd be this tough. But I have lost a few fish, so if I hadn't lost those fish, I'd have been probably level pegging. Whether there's any logic in what I'm about to tell you or not, I don't know. But both of our rods have gone quiet for the last hour, but if you'll notice, the wind's changed. Rather than blowing into us, it's blowing down that corner. So is it that? Is it that? Interesting. Who knows? So a few of you might have seen these reels that I'm using and you're wondering what the hell they are. Well, these are unbranded because these are actually a test batch of reels that I'm trialing for my own tackle brand, folks. So I'm not going to tell you anything about them because they could be absolute rubbish. I don't know. So like anything that I sell, I put it through trials and tests first because I don't want to be known for selling rubbish. So I'm not going to tell you anything about those reels, but I know that people will ask, so just trialing them at the moment and seeing how I get on with them. And so's my dad. He's got a couple on as well. I'm trying some 6,000s, he's got 3,000s on his, so just see how we get on. Dad, I think all the fish are in your bleeding swim. Dad's just had another bit of a run. Last few PVA bags here, and then we're on single hook baits, which is fine. Don't mind that. Dip and glug. Right, let's send it. We'll give the other one another 10-15 minutes and then we'll get the purr drop back out. I'm going to come a bit closer. Wind's changed round again, so might be in for another shot. And folks, my dad's just had a run, so the wind's changed again and he's just had a run. So are they following the wind? Sod it, let's recast this one. With a purple purr drop on. Not as far out this time, folks. There we go. It's gone very, very quiet. I've had a couple of little indications since moving a touch closer in, but it looks like method feeder has won the day today. We've probably got another hour of fishing yet, and seeing as I've only had one fish all day, the chance of me gaining back any kind of lead in that hour is probably slim to none. So I think my dad's on 4 fish to my 1 on the carp methods, but I think I've had more runs, so interesting one. And sometimes, folks, it's just nice to fish a slightly different way and try a different method, whether it's better or not. You know, I'd no doubt in my mind that my dad was going to get more fish than me on the method feeder today, but until you try it, you don't know. And fishing's all about experimenting and trying new things, having to go at, you know, something that you don't do all the time. And that's also how you'll catch different fish. I bent 3 hooks out in it. Oh! I need to get it up. Yeah, mud. Well, the coffee cup has been launched.
And the flask.
And the flask, everything.
Yeah, it's in deep mud.
I've managed to get it out the snags because it was in the snags, it was around something. But is it the biggest of the day, Dad? Will I break even? I don't think it is. It's just,
They fight very well though, don't they?
I think it's because it's a deep water in parts. It's only small fish.
Nice common.
Yeah, on the pineapple. I definitely think they've got more giving them than them rods you're using, Dad.
Yeah.
These coral opportunists. I mean, there's not much difference in the test curve, so. Right, let's have a look at it. I'll show you the run ring. Do you reckon that? I think that might be the biggest.
I think it is that. I'll let you have that.
Will you? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, your first one, there's not much in it because of the belly on it.
I think that's still bigger.
Marginally. So it's hooked perfectly. and you can see here, folks, the bolt and run rig has worked perfectly, and that bead's popped off. Hook the fish, and there is the pineapple wafter. Dad's letting me have that for biggest fish of the day, so that puts us on level pegging. Never say never. You've won most fish and I've won biggest fish, just very marginally. I think it's close.
I think it's
It was really fat, that F1. There we go. Let's check the hook point on this. Yeah, it's bent out. You see, these hooks are so sharp that they're only really good for one fish. Yeah, that's no good. It's pretty much blunt now, that. I mean, I can sharpen them at home. I can hand sharpen them back to where they need to be, but for the sake of the challenge, I'm just going to swap the rig. But I've been through 6 rigs today. That's why these kind of rigs are better for the bigger fish, folks, obviously. This is just a bit of fun today, because you're all right changing your rig every time you land a 15-20 pound carp, but having to do it every time you get a 3 or 4 pound carp is a little bit expensive. Right, so that was a pineapple, so let's get pineapple back on. In the dip and glug and back out now. Dad's getting himself packed up, so that brings the challenge to a close. I'm going to stay on a little bit and see if I can get potentially one more fish. I've still got a couple of PVA bags left, so might as well use these last couple. I've one more cast. Glad that I've managed to get a fish on the purple pearl drop. Carp wafters. You really don't need much of that stuff either. It's not like the glazes. Fog liquids are stronger, hence why they're a little bit more expensive. Let's see if we can get one more fish, but the challenge ended on 2 for me with the biggest, and Dad had 4 carp in the end, which for a winter session I'm really happy with that. But you can see we're starting to lose the light now. It's getting ready to absolutely chuck it down as well, so I'm literally just having another 15 minutes and I'm going to call it a day myself. I just want to take a minute to interrupt the video and say, if you are enjoying it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That is literally all you need to do to support the channel. It's free to subscribe, so just click that subscribe button and also the bell icon as well, and that way you'll get notified every time I launch a video. And as a thank you for watching this week's video, I'll be giving away a bottle of the liquid fog, the purple pearl drop, that I've been using in today's session. And all you need to do to be in with a chance of winning that is we're in, folks. All you need to do to be in with a chance of winning that is make sure that you've commented on the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I don't feel like a bad fish, but it is bumping around like it's a smaller fish. It's hard to tell here, they fight hard. I've got it out of the snags. And make sure you're following me, and make sure you're following me on the Westies Angling Instagram and Facebook page if you have it. It's under my other line here. God, it's all over the place, this, in this clear water. Nice coming. Oh, that's definitely the biggest of the day. Whoops. On the pineapple again. I think I've seen quite a few patches of bubbles coming up on the left here, so I think the fish are hanging about on the back of the wind today. Oh yeah, it's definitely the biggest of the day. Yeah, that is 100% the biggest of the day, if that last one wasn't. And that's 3 to 4. As soon as my dad's given up and calling it a day, I can't count it towards the challenge, but a lovely winter common. Last cast. Well, folks, I'm probably going to give it another 5 or 10 minutes and then get packed up. I'll be losing a light in the next half an hour, so I better do a little bit of a summary for you. Oh, always when I'm doing an outro. Hopefully that screams off. So it ended up, if we count that last fish that I had, 3 to 4 in terms of numbers. So the method feeder won out with most fish, but by a small margin, I had a bigger fish on the carp methods. So it went pretty much how I expected today to go, to be quite honest with you. But there's not much in it, only one fish difference. And I mean, to be honest with you folks, on a winter session, to have 7 carp out between us, can't really argue with that. It's just nice to be out here. It's nice to be catching. Obviously, this little challenge, this little lad versus dad, it's just a bit of fun. There's never any kind of conclusions when it comes to fishing. There's no one way of fishing that's better than another. It's just good to get out here, give it a go, because I hope this shows you you can still have half-decent sessions on the coldest of days. So I just want to say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Westies Angling. And don't forget to make sure you comment to be in with a chance of winning some purple pear drop liquid fog. I'll see you next time, folks.